Around midday, with the sun high in the sky and the first beads of sweat appearing on your forehead, you see something move next to the road, a few hundred meters ahead. Some crows are pecking at something in the long grass. When you see the blood on the ground, you try to convince yourself it's from an animal that just happened to be killed on the road by a hunter. You know this is improbable, and your hope disappears completely when you see two human bodies lying in the flattened grass. You don't see any signs of a struggle in the area where the corpses are lying. Were they stabbed by a companion? A stranger could hardly have crept up on them with such sparse cover. A slender man lies in front of you, dressed in an expensive robe. It is in the colors of Turgur the Fair-Faced, one of the 6 magi. The dead man must be one of Turgur's famuli. You don't...
Nothing again.
You...
A rucksack? Did someone...
You open the rucksack and recognize that someone has already rummaged through it. As well as some implements and writing utensils, you find a pouch full of gold and a talisman. The gold is proof that this is not a case of robbery. Warmth and a feeling of security flush through your body as you touch the talisman. You look down on a tall, broadly built man. He's wearing dark brown leather armor that is strengthened with iron plates. There's a sword lying next to him. Was he trying to defend himself against something? Or someone? There is no blood on the sword.
Ivracus.
There are some narrow stab wounds in the man's chest. The cuts are too big. The man has the same incisions. It's clear that both men were killed by the same weapon. A rucksack that probably belonged to one of the dead. It seems to... You find a few implements, some provisions, and a map. You scour the area once more and ask... You scour the area. It's time-consuming and strenuous work digging shallow graves in the ground with a stick and covering the corpses with a few stones. But it should at least keep the crows from their feasting for a while. You can... You see a flickering light through the trees some way from the path. You walk towards the fire with confident strides until you finally make out 3 broad-shouldered men with axes. 2 rabbits are sizzling over the fire. The men are joking with one another. Once you reach the edge of the firelight, the men jump up and grab their axes.
Well, I'll be. Is that a groundling?
My name is Tungdil. I'm only a traveller who would have nothing...
A groundling, what?
We are honest, hard-working men. Why would we have anything to do with groundlings? Be off with you.
The man... You shrug your shoulders indifferently and take 3 small steps backwards.
Good! And don't even think about coming back to stab us in the back or steal from us. We'll keep going.
Although your heart is beating wildly, you you try to ignore the ridicule. You reach the banks of the Warder and can see Axeldale on the other side, but there isn't a bridge for far and wide. The fisherman's boat. You call to the nearest fisherman. He looks across at you briefly before... You leave the peaceful banks of the river behind. You look down on a large village on the banks of the Warder. Some of the village is built on... The guards on the palisade are watching you. Their armor looks well cared for and well made. The smith who made them knew what he was doing. You conclude that the men depend on the protection the armor offers and aren't just wearing them to look good. There are small fires burning every 50 steps or so. They are intended to light up the area in front of... Some of the guards begin to whisper as you near the gate.
What brings you to fair good water? And have you seen any orcs on your travels, ground?
Goodwater is well known for its hospitality.
A fact that you've just made up yourself.
Let me in, and I will tell other travellers all about it.
I regret to inform you that we cannot allow you to enter. The gates stay closed once night has fallen.
The orc heads on the spears look fresh.
I hope not. The more orc heads that end up on those spears, the more gold coin. Yeah! We've killed our fair share of orcs and know how to...
Two things become clear to you. Firstly, that the mercenaries the villagers have hired are excellent at killing orcs.
Yesterday, we caught a couple of their scouts first.
Do you want me to be mauled by the orcs? Let me in!
You're pleased to notice that your voice sounds more accusatory than worried. The mercenary seems to weigh up his options, but then shakes his head.
Put a few miles between yourself and us, and then you should...
Stay alert.
Oh, yeah.
The double gate is made of strong planks. Is this to be your bed for the night? A flat, cold... You hardly slept a wink during... An uneasy feeling has been your constant companion since you left Goodwater. Every little sound in the forest makes you fear you've been As night begins to fall, you pass a large oak tree and decide to call it... You swing yourself up the trunk and then pull up your baggage after you. You're prepared to sleep in a tree like a bird if it means escaping the orcs' attentions. You sling your rope twice around your stomach and the trunk of the tree to stop you from falling accidentally. You see North Pass and smell the fresh, icy wind that sweeps over the peaks of Great Blade and Dragon's Tongue. But the harmony is interrupted by the hideous... You smell the disgusting green blood of the orcs and taste the rancid fat of their armor on your tongue. The bitter taste becomes stronger until it's unbearable and wrenches you out of your dream. You open your eyes and are surprised at the brightness as a glance at the sky confirms that it's still night.
I am Sinthras of Son Balsur. My master, Nod On the Doublefold, ruler of the perished land, has elected you, the lords of Taboribor, to be the sword that conquers the south.
You mean you want us to put our necks on the line and be killed by some magus?
Lord Yonan and the others will be taken care of. Your task is to create a diversion in the south until my master's plan succeeds.
And which of us is the leader?
The one that conquers the most land.
So Kragnar will be the new Grand Lord.
He glares at Ushnots and Bashkug.
A Kragnar short drive will conquer the most land. Never! We will overwhelm the cities of the Red Bloods quicker than you can set the marrow from a bone.
We shall see.
You can't believe what you're hearing. If the beasts of Tion ride into battle together, catastrophic cycles lie ahead for Girdlegard. The night in the oak tree was the worst of your life. You spent every single moment afraid that you'd be found and savaged by the orcs. But as the first rays of sun broke through the treetops, the orcs abandoned their camp and left without discovering you.
Better safe than sorry.
Your eyes scanned the deserted camp, and you listened carefully for any... You're overcome by the urge to vomit. You have, of course, heard the stories, but seeing with your own eyes that orcs actually do eat humans is a long way from just reading about it.
This is the place. I knew it was here. Come on then, find that stupid necklace. Hey, a grounding. Perfect for a spotted breakfast.
You know that you're no warrior, but you want to face the orcs as a child of the Divine Smith. Perhaps you'll manage to kill at least one of them.
Oink, oink, little piggies! By Barrowin's beard! How did you manage to lose your weapon? Go and get it, and this time, hold it tight! Hey! That one was mine!
You're just too slow, dear brother!
Too slow? Just wait!
Yeah! Please wait a moment!
Too easy!
I can't do that yet! Please wait a moment! I can't do that yet! Huh? I'm not that! I need help over here! Quickly!
Yes! Soon! Pow! Another one bites the dust! Who's next?
Others will take my place. Yes? Please wait a moment.
What is it? On my way! All right.
Yes?
Huh?
As
On my
good
way.
as done. Huh?
Huh?
On my way!
And what now?
Yes?
What is it?
As good as done.
Yes?
What is it?
And what now?
On
I
my
can't
way.
do that yet.
As good as done.
He's waiting
Too
on me.
easy.
I can't do that yet.
Yes?
Huh?
All
my
right.
way.
I didn't hit you very hard.
Uh-huh.
And what now? What is it?
Yes?
That
Yes, yes.
I'll be ready soon.
Huh?
Too easy.
He hardly put up
I
a
need help
fight.
over here! Quickly!
I didn't hit you very hard.
They're hitting me pretty hard! I need help over here! Quickly! They're hitting me pretty hard! Kill!
And what now?
Next. Yes?
He hardly put up a fight. What is it?
Too easy.
I'm not that quick. Yes, yes, soon. I'm not that quick.
Another one bites the dust.
Yes, yes, soon. He hardly put up a fight. I'm not that quick.
Yes? I didn't hit you very hard.
Yes?
He hardly
Huh?
put up a fight.
Don't rush me.
Huh?
Too easy. Oink oink.
That's all. No more orcs.
Well fought, young friend. Do you happen to be tongued ill?
Well fought. But he fought like a...
Boindale, what do you expect? He grew up amongst the humans.
Who are you and how do you know my name?
My name is Boindale Hookhand of the clan of the Swinging Axes. This is my brother, Boindale Doubleblade. We've been sent to find you.
Call me Ironheart. Are there any more piggy snouts around here?
There was a meeting last night. The Elfar serve a certain Nod On who calls himself Lord of the Perish Land.
Did you hear that, Boandal? Peggy!
The Elfar from Son Balzur and the Orcs from Taboribor
And could ally with the Orcs from the Perish Land.
The twins look at you solemnly. You all know what that would mean for the people.
We've got to...
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say, but it's our duty to get you to the Ogre's Death Fortress in one piece.
I thought the duty of dwarves was to protect the innocent in Gerd.
Lot Yonan and King Broron will take care of the orcs. We three must be careful. You're not exactly a warrior.
But he has broad shoulders and broad hands. There's hope for him yet. So when you've got the chance to split a few orcs...
You turned up at just the right moment. But are you sure it's me you're looking for?
The High King Gundrabor sent us to fetch you and bring you to Ogre's Death in the Secondling realm in the south.
So he received the letter from my master? And am I a secondling?
Well, something like that, I guess.
I would be happy to follow you into the realm of the secondlings. In truth, there is nothing I would rather do. But first, I must travel to Blacksaddle and return some things to a former famulus.
Blacksaddle isn't exact...
It's on my way. We can head south as soon as I've carried out Lot Yo...
Well, he's certainly got the stubbornness of a dwarf.
All right, we'll accompany you. The sooner we...
I'll have to send Lot Yonan a message by carrier pigeon on the way. And if we happen to stumble upon a couple of orcs...
I like you, but we'll have to find you another name. Bolafar. It's about as good as Lipsmith, Paddletosh, or Blufflegrump. It is stupid, senseless, and definitely not a name of honor. What are you good at?
I'm good at reading.
Reading?
There are dead orcs lying in the defensive trenches and strewn over the meadows in front of the city. Some of the locals are busy throwing the bodies on pyres, while others repair the minor damage done to the city wall. You enter the city and the garrison at its centre without being spoken to. It is only when you reach a heavy oak door that leads, you assume, to the commanding officer's headquarters that you are halted by a guard.
Dwarves, eh? Seems we aren't to be spared anything these days. What do you want?
It looks like you've got an orc problem.
Had. Our scouts detected the army early on and we were able to repel them without any great losses.
Your mighty walls!
The soldier isn't intimidated by Boindil. He juts his chin out confidently.
At least they stopped the
I must speak with...
Commander Valor doesn't have time. He's still...
Commander Valor is dealing with the orc problem, and I have important information.
The guard eyes you with interest and tries to judge whether... The commander looks up from his work. The guard repeats what you told him.
Your information about the orcs could be...
The commander listens attentively and now and then asks questions as you tell him about the 3 orc armies and the meeting of the chieftains with the Alcinthras.
This sounds very grave. I will send out messengers. We must be prepared.
The orc army that attacked you was able to...
What was left of it, they headed south. Unfortunately, I can't send anyone after them until the damage to the wall is repaired.
The commander looks at you with a disgruntled expression. It suddenly seems clear to him who he...
Killing pig noses and getting paid for it?
You grin at Boindil and then turn back to the...
We must press on.
Kill as many orcs as you can, dwarves.
You see a camp with a wagon and 2 people on the edge of the path. Behind them, Black Saddle towers up above a thick, dark forest, about a half a day's journey away. 2 horses are standing near the covered wagon, grazing. You can make out the shapes of boxes and barrels on the wagon. You don't want to give them a shock, so you address them while you're still a distance away. The 2 traders look up and visibly jump when they see. It doesn't escape your attention that you seem to be causing the traders some uneasiness.
We're only travellers. We're looking for someone who's said to live on Black Saddle.
Someone who lives here?
The traders exchange amazed looks.
Normally we wouldn't stop and rest here, but the horses are too exhausted. Our departure from Parista was delayed and we must have driven them to...
Why does Black Saddle make you feel uneasy? It doesn't look particularly inviting.
Only a mountain? You don't know the legend.
The trader looks at you and...
Black Saddle was once known as Cloud Piercer, and it towered up into the heavens, the upper slopes of pure gold and the summit covered in snow. The humans wanted to attain this wealth, but the smooth slopes and the dazzling summit made the climb impossible. They called on the dwarves to help them. They were able to tunnel up through Cloud Piercer to the top. They hollowed it out and carried away the gold. The humans demanded that the treasure be shared, but the dwarves refused, and as they argued, the mountain began to tremble. There were too many holes inside for it to hold together. It collapsed and buried both greedy parties underneath it. The mountain lost its tremendous size and its beauty, and ever since has haunted both humans and dwarves with its erosive hatred.
Pfft, never heard of it. Sounds like human tittle.
You come from Parista?
No news to speak of, I'd say. Well, except for...
You know Nudin the Knowledge Lusty. Lot Yonan introduced him to you many...
Oh, nothing really. Just rumours.
You nod at the trader to continue.
He's...
Merely looks ill, apparently. Well, that's what someone I know...
Later in the night, after eating together and some friendly conversation by the campfire, you all decide to sleep. It's a night in which nothing happened. After a march through the thick pine forest, Black Saddle, the sinister tabletop mountain, and your
Are you sure that the Famulus lives here?
Yes, according to Lot Yonan.
Although you try to put a lot of assurance into your voice, you too see no signs that...
No castle, no tunnel, no camp?
Then we'll have to take a closer look.
You do that, scholar. We'll be waiting for you here.
You think about objecting, but it would just be a waste.
No trace of Goren here either. If he's... I can only climb a little way here. An old tree. Looks like it could fall down and... There we go. Too steep. I can't get it... If Goren is here, then he is further up. I should be able to get up here. Yeah. That was close. I hope this is all worth it. Here's a... No. Definitely... There's something engraved on it.
You realize with surprise.
Built with the blood of our enemies, be unyielding... Huh? Hello? Master Goren? Lot Yonan sent... My inquiries are almost at an end. That means I can finally go to be with my sunshine. I have never been to Greenglade, but I think I will like it there. I deposited my most valuable things in the grave of Horengarth before my departure and secured it with magic. The password is...
You recognize the following words as rune names, but they're written in the learned language, so you don't know which they are.
Greenglade. Useful. An eternal flame.
You see sketches and notes on the architectural features, statues and wall reliefs. It seems Goren spent a lot of time studying this place.
Goren is in Greenglade to visit his sunshine. Greenglade is in Gauragar. Hello? Is anyone there?
It looks as though Garen lived in the fortress for a while. It also seems that he left several lunar orbits.
He's not stealing, it would just be a shame. Born of stone, forged in battle. Arise, reborn from the blood of the enemy.
You're not sure if you really want to know what was once in this basin. The whole place gives you the feeling that a decent dwarf shouldn't...
Sarcophagus. Perhaps I could open? A rune. Clearly magical. Graves. Ah! That's it. Garen's most valuable belongings. Letters from his lover, a silk scarf that must have belonged to her, and...
a series of weapons that are all clearly of dwarven origin. The spider webs and rust suggest they have...
Earthlings, the fortress belongs to the dwarf haters. Norimber's dwarves are not only as unyielding as a mountain, they are also as destructive as an avalanche, and would batter into lesser kingdoms just as relentlessly. The four should find no salvation in Vracus, only eternal damnation, so that they suffer indescribable torment.
You have difficulty deciphering the scrawl.
Throw the firstlings in the... Lorimber, the progenitor of the Thirdlings.
In most of the chronicles about the 5 dwarfen kingdoms, only very little is written about the Thirdlings, and what is written is full of disgust. It would seem that even the Thirdlings worship Vracus, but in all the other kingdoms his shrine would be the biggest, not the statue of the kingdom's progenitor. A couple of
Can't do any harm.
So, Scholar.
There is an abandoned fortress in the mountain, and I think it belongs...
Boindill's eyes narrow.
A Thirdling fortress? Here? In the middle of Girdle?
The fortress has been long abandoned by the looks of it. Anyway, I can't go to Ogre's death until I have completed my quest.
Huh.
The High King, why?
All right then. It's about the choice of the new High King. Gandagar, the king of...
But our acting High King Gundrabur wants to prevent that from happening.
But what if I...
Boindill is about to say something, but is silenced by a nudge in the side. You look distrustfully from one twin to the other. Boindill has donned an innocent expression, and Boendal doesn't...
What does this King Gandagar have against the...
Dwarves and elves just don't get along. Brackus and Satalia made us.
I know that, but going to war... For...
Well, there must be more behind it. They say that the king of the Fourthlings is full of...
A Thirdling fortress? Here, in the...
And worrying. But they've always been wily.
I've read about it. Lorimber, their progenitor, rejected the name that Vracus gave him, who in turn did...
It helps them defending the east. But it also meant they ended up confronting the other kingdoms. No dwarf would ever even think of... When they were even more powerful, they wanted to become the rulers of all dwarves. They are envious of our skills.
Whatever, your High King must wait. I have a quest to carry out in...
But our quest is...
Boindill raises a placatory hand and...
Let it be, dear brother. Look at him. He has made his decision.
By the evening campfire, Boindale rummages around in his rucksack and pulls out a cheese wrapped in a cloth. The smell it gives off makes you hold your breath.
Oh, picky, are you? Hardly surprising, considering you were brought up by humans. It's real.
You pull the warm piece of cheese from the stick. It tastes dreadful. Once you reach the top of the hill above Goodwater, you can see what is left of the village. You arrive at a crossroads with a tavern on the corner. A warm light is emanating from its window, lighting up the road around it. A stone sculpture of a sheep stands in front of the door, and above it a sign, swaying. You observe the surroundings, but the road is empty, and no one leaves the tavern. You notice a broken window on the first floor.
Why are we standing?
You enter the tavern with a determined stride, and are greeted by a thick wall of... In the tavern, there are half a dozen people sitting at the tables, and just as many at the bar. Boindale pays no attention to the other guests and trudges over to a table. Together with his brother, you follow him. You hear surly muttering from one of the tables.
What are groundlings doing showing their faces?
You turn to the guest who'd muttered something about groundlings. The man glances up briefly, and then stares drunkenly at his tankard, and mutters with a slur,
Don't play the innocent. The orcs are terrorizing our land.
I was not at the Stone Gateway, and I don't know what happened. But you can be sure of one thing. Dwarves would never cooperate with orcs.
The drunkard and his neighbour are given a start. They mumble an apology, and turn...
Did two travellers pass this way? One was a famulus, the
The landlord shakes his head indifferently and mumbles something incoherently. One of the guests... You turn to the guest who is silenced.
I'm not your friend, and I wasn't going...
I wouldn't mind a pint.
The landlord nods and takes the twins' order too. Despite Boindale's loud protestations about wanting another drink, you... You arrive at a small, bustling village. One thing is clearly missing. A dour, grim-looking man is sitting in front of the forge, with his right arm in a sling. His expression brightens as he sees you. The man's expression is somewhere between desperation and hope. As you don't answer immediately...
What happened to your...
A stupid accident. A box of blanks fell down. I was trying to catch it. It will heal for...
You must have quite a backlog of work.
You nod sympathetic.
Loads. But if what I...
I'll help you.
A little later, you are standing in the... You weren't able to persuade the twins to help you. As warriors, they'd rather go hunting, boy. Hours later, you have forgotten everything around you. The heat...
Wait, I'm talking to you.
You look up in surprise.
Can you do it?
You immediately dislike the middle-aged man. He sounds you out so doggedly with his light... With the forge hammer in your hand, you play dumb. You expect the man to fly off the handle, but you feel even more uneasy when he asks you quietly and very slowly to please re-shoe the two horses.
These two need shoeing? No problem.
The man doesn't look convinced. but you get to work with confidence. You concentrate on the work. The only sound you hear is the melodic beat of the hammer against the anvil. You keep track of... While you're fitting the third horseshoe, another armed man enters the forge and speaks in hushed tones with the leader of the group.
He's the only one here.
The man nods in your direction, and you quickly... You play it cool and complete the work. As the leader of the mercenaries pays you, you have the feeling that he is trying to transfix you with his eyes. The men...
So, you're mercenaries, I take it?
You're only trying to engage in conversation, but the man looks at you incredulously.
Something like that.
Got lots of work? Oh, do you know anything about the arm?
We can't complain.
The man's tone makes it clear that the conversation has ended here. You carry out the work in silence. As the leader of the mercenaries pays you, you have the feeling that he is trying... The men join a larger group of horsemen, more than a dozen, outside the village.
Not here in the village. Go. Search the road between here and Clintal again.
The other mercenaries nod and the group rides off. You can't make head nor... You tell the twins about your encounter, and they decide to be especially vigilant over the next days. You approach the village and can tell even from far off that something is...
By Vrachus.
The piggies have really shown those pointy ears. We couldn't have done it any better.
Stay alert.
The elf maiden's graceful snow-white face still radiates beauty, in terrible contrast to the... From the neck down, she is nothing more than a blood-red, damp and glistening skeleton. There are long nails. The hand that painted this picture was that of a master. It is composed exclusively in shades of red, but every single little...
This picture portrays the village in its state of ruin.
Examining the canvas more closely, you realize...
This is the most disgusting thing.
The smell of the smoke has accompanied you for a while now. But here, so close to the bodies, it is marked...
Hoofprints burned into the...
On fire?
The fire in Boindill's eyes flares up with delight.
Huzzah! That would make a change.
You have read about the elves and their buildings. This here had always just been a small... Green Glade was one of the few places in Girdlegard where humans and elves lived together. The body of the man is riddled with arrows and is lying in a small patch of undamaged ground, while a sea of flames must have raged in a circle around. The robes remind you of those of Lot Yonan's famuli. This plus...
Goren had these books on him when he was attacked. Was he trying to bring them to safety?
You're right.
Greetings, Turga. I'm glad to hear that you finally wish to confide in Lot Yonan. I think they are the key to his destruction, or... What demon are they talking about?
You instinctively think about how the magical barrier is only a few days' march north of here.
You destroyed my painting. Now I need fresh blood to paint a new one.
Huzzah! This will be...
I hope your blood doesn't clot too much.
How do you plan to defeat us, pointy ears?
Oh, only 3. That makes it easier.
That's...
impossible.
I know of nothing else that can resurrect the dead.
Please wait a moment. I can't do that yet.
What is it? What is it?
On my way.
Of course!
Understood.
On my way!
Please wait a moment. I can't do that yet. Huh?
We are the forever soon!
Yes. Please wait a moment. I can't do that yet. Please wait a moment.
What is it?
I can't do that yet.
Yes! Vile and what now? Another one bites the dust. What is it?
They're hitting me pretty hard.
Don't rush me.
Huh? Please wait a moment.
What is it? I didn't hit you very hard. Who's next?
And again.
I'll be ready soon. Don't rush me. I just need...
that yet? What is it?
And what now? Ow! I'm not
Another one
right.
bites the dust.
Yes, yes, so...
Huh?
He only put up a fight.
Please wait a moment. I can't do that yet.
What is it?
I didn't hit you very hard.
Huh?
What is it?
I'll be ready soon.
I wasn't expecting this.
Please wait a moment. Huh? Yes? On my way.
Yes? What is it?
Huh?
Huh?
Vile creature. Yes? And again. Please wait a moment.
What is it?
Another one bites the dust.
I can't do that yet.
Too easy. Who's next? Don't rush me.
And what now? Yes, yes. So, he hardly put up a fight.
Hit you very hard.
Huh?
Another one bites the dust.
And again. I can't do that yet. Please wait a moment, huh? I'll be ready soon.
Now? I'm not that quick.
Yes?
He hardly put up a fight.
Yes? Who's next?
He hardly put up a fight.
Kill.
What is it?
Too easy.
What is it?
Who's next? Don't rush me.
Vile creature.
Huh?
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 And again. He hardly put
I'll
up
be
a
ready
fight.
soon.
And what now?
Huh?
What is it? What is it? Yes, yes, so.
Huh?
He hardly put up a fight.
Please wait a moment.
Yes? Don't rush me.
Huh?
What is it? What is it?
Too easy!
Dwarves, you protected the glade. The perished land.
You can feel your stomach cramping, unlike Boindale.
So this is what it is like to rise from the dead. I feel nothing.
Without even being able to look into her eyes, you recognize the sadness in the elf maiden.
Garen was here, and I've heard that you
I felt her presence, but when
If the perished land spreads further...
Your stomach turns. You've never seen the twins looking so serious. They would pit themselves against any army of orcs.
We must go to Lot Yonan before... I can't believe it, the Baron...
Who can tell?
It had held back the...
You think of... Every evening since you left Greenglade, you have looked... However, you're sure... Did Garen ask Lot Yonan? Lot Yonan trusted you with the pouch. Just like previous nights, you are haunted by the image of the elf. You're about to lie down again, but... You consider your options. You feverishly search for an out. You tense your muscles, ready. You look over to Boindale, who is easy to recognize in... Boindale unwraps his dwarf. You chew on the... In the early evening...
I don't like the look of this one bit.
The wagon itself... You scan the road. You can see a lot of tracks in them. The dwindling day... It is messy, but no more so than you... The smaller cupboards are piled high with... You reach for the knob of the wardrobe, and you take a step back, and the realization of what hit you makes... His head has been cut clean from his neck, His head has been cut off cleanly, probably. As you try to lift the lid of the chest, you realize that the lock has been broken out of the wood. You take the loot. You take the bread and the cured meat. You give a short...
I have a hunch that the mercenaries from...
Wretched dwarf!
You wrap the body in linen, dig a hole in the woods... You arrive at a 2-story tavern. You go to the stable and speak to the stable boy. You're a little bemused, but try to stay. The stable boy remains silent. Axeldale is shrouded in... There are dead bodies everywhere. But it seems to you that there should be... Boendal lays a hand on... The farmstead has been... You split up and search for signs. There are no signs of life.
Why are the Magus' vaults here?
It's to do with the
And that's why he lives in...
No, it's...
As you near Calmstead, you see that the...